What's up, folks? Humbled and honored as usual to have Juna Duncan back on the channel. It's been, gosh, like 2 years, right? I think now. So for people that don't know us, don't know who you are, I can't imagine that there's anybody watching my stuff that doesn't know who Juna Duncan is. But for those that may not know, you want to share who you are and how you got into everything?
Yeah, of course. My name's Juna. I've been doing print on demand since 2005. I started with Cafe Press actually in 2005 and designed t-shirts. I've always loved t-shirts, designing t-shirts. I've actually designed t-shirts by hand before that, before the internet actually. So that's how old I am. But I've been doing t-shirts for a long time. In 2017, I actually got into Amazon merch, or merch by Amazon at the time. It's called Amazon Merch on Demand now, and that has been my top print on demand seller for since then. I learned a lot before then by designing t-shirts on Cafe Press and Redbubble and TeePublic and all those others. But because of that, I had lots of designs before, and I kind of started with all those designs on Amazon and kind of gave me a boost. And then I created more and more designs. I have about 13,000 designs now on Amazon, and I have a YouTube channel that I've been doing since then. I really pushed hard on YouTube in 2020, just trying to teach people like what I've learned so that they can do that. It really has helped me like with my income. I was able to quit my job last year, my 9 to 5. It was a slow thing, with the starting Amazon in 2017, slowly building that up until a point that I was able to quit my job last year. So that's who I am.
That's awesome. I love that you were able to quit your job and go. I mean, you almost had like 2 full-time jobs, right?
I did. Yeah.
Your full-time job, and then you were content creating and POD creating almost equally as much.
It was tough. Yeah, there was a time there where I was pushing hard on both at the same time, and eventually the POD content creator side passed my 9 to 5 income, but it was still nice to have both, right? So,
Sure. And especially since you said you enjoyed your job at the time.
yeah,
Like,
I did, but I wanted to give this more push and focus on it a little bit more. Not that I couldn't do both for a long time, but if I see everybody else doing it, and I'm like, I want to do that too. I want to have the time freedom and the money freedom and all that stuff. So it was good.
yeah, and now you have the freedom from location also, because you can do everything that you're doing now anywhere
Anywhere.
as long as you have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I could do it on vacation. Not that I am going to do it, but I could.
It probably feels like vacation now anyway, right?
Yeah. I can do anything. We went to the movies in the middle of the day. That was unheard of, with a 9 to 5. So
That's a beautiful thing though, right? And that's the other thing. Like, so for all you watching, we're going to talk about some, Q4 myths and stuff like that, and we'll get in the right frame of mind for that. And then we're going to do some design critiques here. So I've asked people in my Facebook group and in my membership to submit some designs. Juna, you're a part of, so you saw there's enough people on the inside, so it's great to have you in there too. But that said, there's something to be said, just to go back to what you said about going to the movies in the middle of the day. It's like, because we have the luxury of, taking the time out, it's not a matter of, committing to different things. Like, you can, if you want to take half a day off with your family today, you can, because you're still making money on the other end. But also, if it's something like, maybe you don't shoot a video today, but you can do it on a Saturday, you can always do it whenever feels right. Yeah, let's get into some of the chat here. So like, I got 2 massive myths that I hear all the time. And it's like that, I don't want your take on this, but 2 things that most POD sellers get wrong when it comes to Q4. And the first one is that only Christmas designs sell, or especially like even Halloween, only Halloween designs sell, that kind of thing.
Oh, interesting. So I always think like Christmas designs, I guess when people think Christmas, they think, oh, I got to make something that says Merry Christmas. I think that's a very beginner thing. But as we have been watching Q4 and seeing what sells on Q4 and thing, it's mainly gifts. Like, think like Christmas is about giving gifts. And why do people get t-shirts during Christmas? It's to give them as gifts. So I would say focus on that's kind of the overall thing for Christmas and Halloween and things like that. Is like, what are you going to wear? Like, even Halloween, it's not a happy Halloween. It's what are you going to wear on Halloween, right? Like, I could wear a costume, a t-shirt that's kind of like a costume. I could wear something funny to a party. I could like that kind of mindset, I think, is what is needed when you're trying to think of what t-shirts to design for Christmas. It's all about like, what are their hobbies of the person you're going to buy, or what's their occupation, or are you making things for your mom or your dad that you're going to give for a present, that kind of thing. Or even, what are we going to wear as a family while we're opening Christmas? I know a lot of people like that. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of other things than just saying happy Merry Christmas. And honestly, I think having Merry Christmas on your t-shirt actually doesn't sell as well as some of the other ones.
I could not agree more. And I think it's funny because you see some people out there saying like, "Hey, I just make Christmas designs." But I think the newbie thing, like you're saying, is that people think they have to go put Santa on a shirt and say Merry Christmas, or go put a jack-o'-lantern on a shirt and say Happy Halloween. But have you, like, if you just think as a consumer, like, have you ever bought a shirt that said Happy Halloween? No.
No, why?
But like what Stacy's doing in her my wife in her big dog shop is instead of saying like Happy Halloween, she just made half zombie looking cartoony styles of different breeds of dogs, right? And it's tapping into the Summerween kind of thing that is super hot right now and moving forward, right? Because anybody who's into Halloween like we are, we would, as soon as summer hits, all we're doing is waiting, salivating for Halloween, because we would have big Halloween parties. We like dressing up and all that. It's really fun, right? But then to put like, she's got like a Great Dane that is half zombie, half dog, and then she's got like something else, different breeds, but then putting funny spins, like puns with the kinds of breeds.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know, I can't think of one right now, and this is going to be a terrible example, but like a Labrador instead of Labrador, right?
Yeah,
and it's just
yeah.
hyphenated, those kinds of things. And those are the kinds of things that I think will sell. And you don't want to be just hammering out all the Halloween and all the Christmas stuff, like Halloween now and then flip to Christmas in October, because that's not the stuff that sells year round either. But you might buy a zombie dog shirt if you're that zombie, like any time of year,
Absolutely.
that's
you got to think of what people are going to wear multiple times. Like if you're just doing a t-shirt design, like say Happy Halloween or Merry Christmas, that's a one-time thing that they may buy it just for that one day. And most people want to buy t-shirts that they're going to wear over and over again, right? So
you hit the nail on the head when you say it's for gifting, right? So people are buying things for people, and literally Q4, everything sells. So it's like having an evergreen portfolio that way, I think, is huge, because you get the sales velocity spikes on whatever platform you're on, right? Amazon Merch or Etsy or whatever. And that usually kind of carries you through January. Like for me, my lowest month is usually February, but the first half of January is still pretty solid.
I think evergreen's the way to go no matter what time of year, even Christmas, right?
Yep. And then the second myth is that it's too late. So people are saying like it's too late to get into POD, or it's saturated, or it's...
I thought you meant too late to design for Christmas. I'm like, no, it's like still months away. Too late to get into POD. No, I've been playing around with some like these apps, right, that tell you like what's selling and what's sold in the last few months. And if you look at any of those, Everbee, Profit Tree, whatever you use, like you'll see that people have been making lots of sales now. Like it's not dead. People are still buying t-shirts on Etsy, on Shopify, on Amazon. Like the sales prove that it's not dead, right? Because people are still buying it. So
yeah, definitely not too late. Just got off the call with Hannah actually too. We just did a live with her, and she's got some new additions to Profit Tree that were pretty cool too. So you can see the X amount of cards now, and how many were sold in the last 24 hours. And those are the kinds of things that, I mean, that tells you that the demand is there regardless of how long your shop's been open or if it's new. But yeah,
I think it's an excuse that people use to not do it, right? Like, I don't want to get into this because XYZ. And then but the proof is there that people are making sales. Like it may be harder for you to make sales because maybe you're not creative or don't know what to do, but that can be solved. But there are definitely people are making sales.
It's crazy to me to think that some people aren't, willing to get into the game, when I still think POD is in its infancy, right? I think we're still just getting warmed up.
Yeah. I think some of these people think I think restaurants, because I love eating out, but are there lots of restaurants right now? Yes. Is it too late to make another restaurant that would pop that people want to go and visit? No. You just got to be creative and do something that's different that people want right now, right? Like that's the game, is doing something that people want to buy or people want to like. It's still valuable, right? Yeah.
That's a great analogy because there's like, you can look at like some of the most busiest cities, right? And you see like coffee shops not only on every corner, but across the street from each other.
Yeah. And new ones pop up all the time.
Yeah. And they all offer something slightly unique, right? Maybe this
Yeah.
one's better for, whatever, their lattes. And maybe this one's better for their, the frozen cappuccinos, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's not
It's
dead.
a
It's different, maybe, but not dead.
So what's your take then on people now who have strategies to, when we talk about what I was saying before about, we were kind of skirting this issue a little bit, on not skirting, but we were talking about it just before recording here, is like about people who still think that Q4 is coming, so you got to upload as many designs as possible because that's the only way you're going to get sales.
Well, I think that's partly true. I don't think that's the whole thing. Just like, okay, so the idea is not to get lots of designs. Like, if that was the end goal, just to have lots of designs, then yeah, that's a great strategy. But the end goal is actually to make sales, not to have lots of uploads, right? So if you reverse engineer that, like, what gets you sales? Having t-shirts that people actually want to buy, like creating designs that people want to buy as gifts or buy for themselves or whatever. So that is the main part of it. Like, once you figure that part out, then you can go and upload, lots of designs. But uploading lots of designs that don't sell, like, let's say you created 100 designs that don't get any sales, doing 1,000 of those or 10,000 of those, that's not going to matter, because you're just scaling things that aren't working. So once you figure out the other part, what do people actually want to buy, how do you create something that will stand out and get some sales, then the next part is create more of those. Not Don't skip over the main part of it, right? Of creating something good. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a good point, because a lot of people just think more is better. But if you made 100, like you said, that aren't selling, and ultimately, kind of crappy designs, if you're just
Yeah.
gonna add another 10 times more, another 1,000, because then something will eventually sell, I don't think that's really a strategy, right?
No, I call that is this thing, right? The math isn't mathing on that. If you got zero sales with 10, times that by 100, you still get zero sales. So,
Totally. It's like, why would you want to waste all that time? And then at the same time, if you do start to get sales and you're only getting, 2 or 3 sales a day, well, you've listed now 1,000 designs or whatever it is. Think of how much time that takes. And is it really worth it? Like, what does that work out to an hourly wage for your 3 sales after the time it took, right? Like, that's less than minimum wage. I guarantee it, like, so you could probably go get a job part-time for 4 hours at minimum wage and make more money than having that kind of crazy spray and pray strategy, I call it, right?
yeah, not a great strategy. But you got to make some designs to figure out what sells. But you can do a lot of the research up front to give you a better idea, a better rate of or chance of getting a sale than just willy nilly throwing up whatever, right?
So that's a good point. So what is what would you say is one of your go-to ways for research when you're thinking of designs?
Yeah, great idea. Great question. I think it can be divided into two ways. I see it anyway. And maybe other people see it different. There's topics and style. So, and you can mix and match both. But a lot of times there's a style that is trending. Like, for example, right now, I've been posting on my channel, this vintage fruit festival kind of style. Now you can change out the topic, like it could be for strawberries or bananas or whatever, like that. The topic can change, but the style we notice is like this vintage style, right? Fruit stand style. There's also topic that you could base it on. Like, you could search like what topic is trending right now. So it could be back to school is a good example for right now. People are going to go back to school, so there's a topic, and then you can actually mash the two. Like, okay, so the topic is back to school, the style that's trending maybe is vintage, and so I'm going to try and figure out, like, how do I create something new that nobody else has done, that can stand out, that has the vintage look but in the back to school topic and style. And that's kind of how I do it.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it, because like at the end of the day, you're trying to make things that people actually want. So one way to do that, if you're in a particular niche, is to apply, you know, styles or aesthetics that are currently hot, right? That could take your design that is getting a handful of sales a week to maybe a handful a day now. More so, just stick with what works in the niche.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'll try in the same way that you're doing, I'll try to bring some kind of aesthetic a little bit different into it, but I don't veer much from the niche I'm targeting. So I'll try to do, but I batch my designs, right? So if it's like
Oh,
on
nice.
Amazon where I might be in a few different niches, I might try to do like, 10 designs for one niche kind of thing, but then do what you're doing, what you're saying, some more of the trending aesthetics and stuff like that. But I think for me, it's more about, emotionally resonating.
Mm-hmm.
So like you don't have to make like, and how we were talking about, we both seem to prioritize quality over quantity. I think there's this misconception that when we say that people think they have to list like this Mona Lisa, right? Or this Picasso. It's not to me about that. It's just a matter of getting the design good enough for your niche. A good design when it comes to print on demand isn't something that necessarily took you hours, but it hits the nail on the head in terms of the text, the aesthetic, and the niche, right? Ultimately, like you could have, does the font choice work for those ideal customers? Does the font choice work for those niches? Does the color scheme work? If you're making shirts for like mechanics or carpenters or tradespeople, probably not doing neon stuff is going to be the way to go. Or you know what I mean, like or cutesy. But in the same vein, just straight bold text with a little bit of distress on it might totally do the trick, because the tradespeople I know don't want to wear brand new, crispy, clean shirts. They want something that looks a little bit older and washed out a bit, right? It just feels a little more like they would have maybe worn it on the job site a little bit. So it's just a matter, I think, of speaking to that customer and try to do that. But I think that comes with just understanding your niches that you're designing for a little bit better.
I totally agree with that. I think that works well with what I said, and I kind of forgot that. Like, yeah, you could take the niche and a style and kind of mash them together, but it still has to work with the audience, right? You can't just take a popular style that's working on a different niche and then try and mash it with the underneath it, and it doesn't match, right? So not all styles would work in all niches. Yeah.
For sure. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to, we're not selling shirts, right? We're selling the emotional message. Or so you want somebody to hold up a shirt when they open it, that you're selling what people will buy as a gift, right? Like exactly what you said going into Q4. So you want people to open it and be like, oh, that's awesome. And then flip it around and show everybody else in the room. That's what you're selling. You're selling the emotion that, nothing better than thinking it's sweet, but then turning it to show everybody else and having them also agree that it's a pretty sweet gift. That's the kind of impact. So if you can get in your head, I think this is where a lot of newbies to the game kind of struggle that way, I think. But if you can get into your head to think like the gift recipient, the giftee, is that, that emotional kind of hook, that message, that those emotional heartstrings, I think is probably something that'll, is going to be something that will set you apart that way, instead of just making more of the same or more generic stuff.
Correct. And I think that's why a lot of times when we talk to brand new people who haven't designed t-shirts, we say start with yourself, right? Like what would you want to see? Like if you went to pick one and went shopping and bought a t-shirt, a graphic t-shirt, what would make you want to pick it and buy it and stuff? And so start with what you know first, and then as you start designing these things and look at what's selling and kind of get an idea for who buy what's the audience for this niche, or what's the audience for this niche, then you can kind of learn what works there. But start with what you know and what you would buy, and I think that can help a lot.
For sure. And it's not like in the same vein and not designing just Happy Halloween or Merry Christmas, but it's like, you're not, try to go a little deeper than just like nurse on a shirt or teacher on a shirt. I shared in my previous video and in my inner circle, a GPT I made is like your ideal customer profiler, right? And I'll leave the link for that. You guys can check it out. It's free. It's only by a shareable link, so you won't be able to look it up. You'll have to actually, submit to get it. But yeah. So instead of the one example I think I did live or in a video was like for nurses, for example, you're not just selling to nurses. You're selling to maybe an ICU shift working nurse who, what motivates them is, thriving in chaos, right? So like coffee and chaos, blah, 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 hashtag nurse life. You know what I mean? Like you're speaking, it's funny to them and it's passionate and, super passionately driven. And they're going to be, wearing it amongst their friends in the nursing station or in the ER, whatever, or ICU. And then, people are going to see it. Oh, that's awesome. Where'd you get it? And that's how you get, more people coming back to your shop or to to your Amazon listings. And then you're also potentially selling. I did talked about one that was like in the knitting niche, but it's like even knitting can have like so many different ways, right? There was like the traditional that we all, perceive as like the older lady sitting on the couch who's just passing time. But then there was also like, the badass grandpa, for example, who wears a shirt that says real men knit their own socks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, those are things that are going to trigger emotional connections, I think, in a way that is like, I don't know, super unique to that ideal customer. Instead of just another shirt that says nurse, with like a chinoiserie pattern. It's just like there's thousands, 10,000s out there of that stuff.
I agree.
What do you say we get into we're already halfway in here, so you want to get into some design reviews?
Sure, yeah, let's do it. Let's take a look, see if we can help anybody.
Yeah, hopefully we can help some people. So the first one is from my Facebook group, and her name is Jessica. She says, I'm new to the community, and this is my first time doing this. So I'll just share on screen. She's got a /shop review, but they're all going to be design reviews. So I'll just pick one of her designs, which I'll sort by most recent.
Aha, nice.
All right. So
classy until kickoff football, right?
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think, yeah, cute football hoodie for women, classy until kickoff, football sweater for women.
Can we zoom in a little bit? I think it looks like a cowboy boot with I like the idea. I definitely think classy until kickoff is a cool phrase. I'm kind of trying to figure out how I assume the word kickoff is with football because that's what you do. But nothing else in the design says football to me. So I would try and put some kind of relationship with the football. I know cowboy boots are a big thing right now on Etsy, and so are ribbons. So I like that you put that aspect in there. No, if I would go thicker, maybe, I don't know. I'll play around with it and try and tie those in. Maybe make it a little easier to read, just because not read, but see. I know the thin lines and everything is a style that Etsy does, but it's kind of hard to see. Like I said, I had to zoom up, right, to see it.
Yeah.
I think in the thumbnail as well, like it's kind of hard to see. So I would either zoom in on the thumbnail when you're doing it, or make something thicker. What do you think?
I totally agree. I don't see the football vibe here, and you don't have Western in here either, at least for cowboy boots, cowboy anything from the SEO perspective. But your design here, I think, is just taking up like, what is that? Less than 5%, like 1/20th of the picture, right? So if you got like seconds for people to buy your product while they're scrolling. So I think if you want them to, click on it immediately, it has to jump out at them in a way that they don't have to click into it and then click. So we clicked into it, and now we clicked into it, and now I got to click again to even zoom in to see what I'm looking at, right?
Yeah.
By that point, they're already gone. So yeah, I agree with Juna. Like zoom in big time on that one. And try to tie it in with the football, maybe a little more bold, right? Try to think of, if you are a football fan, then is this a design you would buy? If yes, why? If no, also, why not? But yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of mismatch here. I don't know if these star elements fit with the boot, but yeah, I would definitely make some elements a little thicker and definitely tie into the football thing. I think that's smart.
Cool. That was a good one. Very timely, though. I think if you can get that right, you might get some sales because football's coming up for sure.
Yeah, when does that start? September?
I don't know, but I'm thinking around September. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But yeah.
All right, and this one is from Allison, who is in my inner circle here. Badlands Bison board. So we'll see if this ever actually loads here.
Oh, trying to think what that would be.
So okay. So she's got two.
Okay. Oh, maybe we rate the two. Let's see which one we like better. Oh, I love the colors on the first one, the left one.
So she's asking fonts and colors. Yeah, I like the font on this one for sure.
Yeah. Yep. That just feels like balanced, right? As the other one. I like the colors on that one too, especially on the white. Those other colors pop. Estimated 1978. Cool. Yeah, I think it kind of works.
I like the idea. I'm just curious of who you're targeting with this. Yeah. Who is the customer you're targeting with this? That's what I'm not sure.
Is it one of those just random state shirts? Like, because it says South Dakota, are you going to try and change that to North Dakota? And all those I'm trying to see, but
okay.
I don't know if
that could do it. So is buffalo or bison something to do? What would you say, bison? Yeah.
But again,
Does that have
maybe
to do with
we're
South
not the target
Dakota?
audience, right?
Right. Yeah. But that would make
Um,
sense then. So maybe Badlands is a thing in South Dakota, and maybe the bison is too. But that
maybe
wasn't obvious to me. So maybe there's a way you
it's
can
not
make it more
obvious to me.
obvious.
I would also like to see this on a black T-shirt, like reverse the text and put it on a black T-shirt.
Yep.
And I wonder if it would help. Maybe it would make it too busy, but I wonder if it would help to put some of that Badlands in the background, because right now it's a cool picture with the bison and the, I'm guessing the glass, stained glass kind of thing. But is that what people want to see when they think Badlands? Like, and when I think Badlands, I'm thinking the outdoors, and you're not really showing the outdoors that much on here. So
That's a good point. I think it's almost a little too cute for Badlands when you think of like the wild and out there, right?
yeah.
The other thing I might do, if it is, state specific here, I might even try to put like, I don't know, a border of South Dakota or something. I don't know.
Ooh, that
I
could
don't
do
know
it,
if
man.
it'll kind of to tie it all in a bit more. I don't know what it looks like and if it'll fit, but
Yeah,
um
exactly. Because when you look at some of those state T-shirts, like I go to the airport or travel a lot, and when you go to the airport, you see some of these like specific state T-shirts that they're trying to sell, and yeah, they usually put that kind of stuff in there, right? Either the state, the motto, the like some kind of thing about the state to make it stand out a little bit.
yeah, even if it's like a solid color of the state map and then the bison is in there smaller.
So I call these like souvenir T-shirts or travel
Yep.
T-shirts, right? Yeah,
Yep. Nice.
nice artwork though. I love it.
Yeah,
I think it would do
that's
good
good
on black.
lasting.
Yeah, I think that it would look really nice on black since you got the black
Oh,
outline anyway.
all right. No access to that one. Sorry, Leslie.
Oh, they've done these in Kindle. That's nice. That's why we got to see two at once. We're actually looking at their design app.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't open the other one. So
Oh man, sorry, dudes or people, whatever.
yeah.
I call everybody dudes. Sorry.
All right. Next one is Holly's.
Okay. So Etsy. Oh,
Yep.
interesting. Okay.
Tales from the Crib. So it's baby centric.
Baby centric. It looks kind of like Stranger Things font. Yeah, I'm seeing the tail. I'm seeing like the tie-in to Stranger Things, the font anyway. It kind of looks more like a book cover than a T-shirt, honestly. Mostly because I think um, the black background, the black rectangle on a white shirt makes it feel like that. I know, like some movie poster stuff does sell on, and I think maybe that's what they're going for. Like it kind of gives the feel of maybe a movie poster kind of thing. And again, I think using that font has that feeling of Stranger Things, but we had to zoom in again because it's very thin, the outline to see it.
Yep.
Tales from the Crib, Babies Don't Sleep. I'm trying to figure out who the audience, like, I'm thinking like you, like who is this for? Who's the audience for this? A mom who loves horror things and wants to buy it because it's funny.
I think it would definitely be an exhausted mom gift, but you've got it showing here on a male.
Uh-huh.
I also don't love the solid blocks of color, right? It's just too much. I think, and then, just be conscious too of how your design is laid out here. So, it looks like it's not warping with the clothing here. So I think, doing things like that would be a little bit better. But if you're going to do something like this, I would probably get rid of the big black block of ink here and get rid of the border too.
Agreed.
I like the idea. So it's a play of Tales from the Crypt, but it's also a play on Stranger Things. I think it's got some potential here for sure because it's Babies Don't Sleep, shower pregnancy reveal.
Oh, is that what it is? Pregnancy reveal.
Baby horror shirt.
Yeah. That's an interesting mashup, baby horror.
I kind of like it. I don't know how it'll do, but I think there's got to be a way that you could probably get it to work.
This definitely puts some potential in there because I haven't seen anything like it, especially as we get closer to Halloween and the Stranger Things coming out. And I believe it comes out Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, or something. It does it on the 3 holidays from Netflix. So
okay, so this is like good timing then for this design for sure. That's awesome. Yeah, I think I would probably just get rid of the big black box in the background for sure. That'd be it. And then you might be able to put like an inner glow on this so it stands out a little more. To Juna's point, it's just like it feels a little thin.
Yeah, it's hard to see when you and like you said before, when you do the mock-up, maybe zoom in a little bit more, and maybe not on the guy because he probably wouldn't isn't the ideal customer. But yeah, take out that black right now with it being a solid black on top of the t-shirt. It looks disconnected. It looks like you just and it doesn't look like what they would actually get on a t-shirt, right?
That's exactly right, and that's a great choice of words. Disconnected. It definitely feels like a little bit off. Yeah, cool concept. I think we just need to revisit. So I would get rid of this black background for sure and the white border, and just try to. Yeah, I think it might even work. Just even getting rid of the big box behind here and maybe thickening up the lines.
Yeah. If you can do that, that would be awesome.
Good call.
But then it wouldn't work on white. I would say put it on
right. I wouldn't even show. I wouldn't show it on white. You're talking horror, right? And everything horror that in my head is always dark. The dark grays, the blacks. I think that could work. But yeah, then what Juna said, like definitely zoom way in on this. This is not even taking up like, it's maybe a 1/10 or 1/5 even.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Just wanted to see here. So yeah, I like the twin stuff here.
Oh, smart.
This was a funny design. I wanted to show you this one too. It was pretty funny.
See, it's target audience, and it matches. That's who would be wearing it. This is who you're buying it for.
This is a completely different take than on the Stranger Things one we just saw or whatever, right? Yeah. So 1 star for always being called the twins. 1 star for always being called. Yeah, it's great. It's funny.
Yeah, it looks like that. Looks like the design is actually on the shirt. Like there's no disconnect there. So
yep, for sure. Cool idea. I think you can just revisit it and change the execution there. All right. This one is from Brian. Step that up here. So
Drumline Mom. Cool. Of course I'm nice.
Drumline Mom. Of course I'm loud and proud. This is funny.
Yeah. This is good. I love the fonts that you're using. It has that kind of athletic sport school look, right?
College.
College. Drumline's kind of hard to read, but luckily there's the drum there. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe something a little more simple, like less ornamental on the D, because I wasn't sure what that letter was, but I see it drumline now. And then maybe I would even suggest maybe like if you can get that, if it's a snare drum. I'm not super musical, but maybe you could, or whatever, kick drum. I have no idea, but maybe you could tilt it a little more so it looks more like the O.
More like an O.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I was thinking, I don't know if it's still popular. I'd have to go look. But if there's any popular kind of pattern thing, or maybe it might make it too busy. I don't know. But I was thinking some people.
Skin?
In the mom, in the M and the M, and the drum skin. Yeah. Like this. And maybe not. It may make it too busy. I'd have to see it. But in my head, I'm thinking, is there leopard pattern print that goes in there or something like that that's kind of popular that make it stand out a little bit? But I love it. It's good. Other than I think it would work as it is, though. I mean, you could make those little changes, but obviously it's easy to read for the most part. It's big and bold. I don't know if you're selling this as an SVG or on a t-shirt, but as an SVG, I think it works. I think people would love it. So
yeah, that's another good point. Is you could probably sell this as a digital download, and people would buy this like crazy, I'm sure. One thing I'm noticing here is that the proximity, so the L here towards the edge is very close to the edge of mom, and then we've got way more space over here.
Somewhere,
center everything up a little more.
Yeah, sometimes to make that easier, I like to just make it the same width. Just make everything aligned, and then that would help you so you don't have to guess, like, is it too much to the right? But I see it now. There's more space on the right than the left.
For sure. And it could just be that you have a space after it, in the text, so that it tries to center, push itself over. So maybe just double check that, I think. But I agree with Juna. I'll pull this right out to the edge here, I think. But
that space, because it's not super tall, and so you got some height that you can play with still.
Yeah, so you can move it down, make it bigger. Yep.
Love the colors, simple colors. You're using 2-3 colors, works well.
All right. So next up,
definitely works good better on a light t-shirt than a dark one on this one. But because of the outline, I think it could work on both.
Yeah, I would argue the same. Yeah. Okay. Next one is.
Ooh,
this is MJ's.
Yes.
Wildflowers are my love language.
Yeah. I would actually just cut the bottom off of the flowers so that you can see love language a little better. So you don't have to,
Yep.
you don't need that bottom part of the flowers.
I agree. I think I would do the same thing. Cut it off. Very least, you could even just put like a white box kind of behind here and then delete that background after if you were going to save it. But yeah, I feel like it makes it a little hard to read. I might make this just a different font. What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Make sure it's
Something-
easy to read, but yeah, maybe a cursive font that's easy to read, or
Yeah, something more like kind of like this, but not as busy as this one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Cursive fonts sometimes are hard to find because you got some like really cool ornate ones, but then they may be too thin. But I think that like because of the subject, the cursive fonts could work.
Yeah, something a little softer, right? And wildflowers, I think of it just feels very rigid, the font. But yeah, otherwise, I think that could work. I might even try
Wildflowers is the cursive font and the love language is the
or vice versa.
or
Yeah,
vice versa.
or are my love language. Yeah, maybe mix up two fonts in there. I think that's a cool idea. Otherwise, I think it's a good design execution here.
Yeah, very vintage looking, which is popular.
Yep.
You got the one color look, right? That's very popular right
I
now.
think one thing that would work with this too is maybe distressing it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's already got the vintage one color look. Why not put the vintage distressed look on it too, right?
Yeah, go full throttle. And I feel like even though you're coming to the edge of it here, I feel like the design itself mostly ends here. So I feel like, visually, does that make sense?
Yep. You don't have to go out that far. Yeah.
Right. With the text, I feel like if you came into about here, because you have two things that stick out extra, but the real heart and soul of the design ends kind of here. So I would probably make wildflowers a little, cut it back to almost a W and go from there over.
Yeah.
I can highlight the text, but I can't edit anything. So there safer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. A good idea. I think wildflowers are very popular right now too.
I might try different colors as well, right? You could do like lighter colors on a darker background, maybe, and see what that looks like too.
Yep. Agreed. Just remember, like, sometimes that just reversing the colors doesn't work. So you might have to do a little trickery with the outline and knocking it out and all that too.
Yeah. You can make it, if you vectorize it, a couple of different colors, and then you can make sure that the inside of this is still lighter.
Yep.
All right.
Very cool.
Next one is Karen's, and it is, I like this. So Mount Rainier Mountain Shop.
So that's a front and back. That's interesting.
Rainier t-shirt, personalized topographic map tee, Pacific Northwest Mountain shirt. Cool idea. 5 views in the last 24 hours.
Whoa, that's good proof. I like that this is scalable too, because you could probably, this is any U.S. mountain. So is this a personalized thing? That's kind of cool. So that they pick the mountain and the state, and then they'll create that. Wow, that's a great idea.
This is cool.
It's great for people who like maybe go on lots of hikes and they're like, oh, this is I went on Mount Rainier to go hiking. I got this like as a gift or a souvenir, right?
Yeah. Not sure. Let's see if we can see it here. I'm not sure how I like how you have this here. I can't even see what it looks like. Oh, there's one. I almost think that you could put this on the front.
Yeah.
And make it a whole design that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You could move things around. Maybe Mount Rainier to the left and underneath is the whole where it is, and then maybe you could play around with it. You definitely have space, so I would put it all in the front. Try that out. I think it all could work together, and it just like the layout, like you could put a lot of that stuff above it, and maybe some of it below it too. Like kind of box the graphic in.
Yeah, I agree. So you could probably put like Mount in here. So Mount, and then you don't have to have Rainier in there. And then underneath, you could have the coordinates and the state or something, right?
Yeah, lots of ways to do this. Yeah, and I was wondering if like you could play around with the contrast too. I wonder if having it white, like that bright white, is good, or kind of do like you were saying earlier, like the distressed look of outdoors, kind of give it more of an outdoor feel. Maybe that Rainier, that font can be more of a outdoor feeling font.
Yeah, good call. I also think if you're gonna have black text on it, you might be able to delete the white entirely if it's on a lighter color shirt. So then the shirt color is where the white was.
Yeah, that could
Yeah.
be fun.
Less patch of ink too, right?
Yeah. Oh, this is great. It's got lots of potential, and I love that it's personalized too. Another great thing for
Yeah.
gifts.
And then on this one, for example, you could keep the white, but then get rid of the black and just have the dark color show through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, see, that font's really kind of hard to read.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's a G, but I don't
Yep.
know. So that's why I might want to change the font out a little bit to give it more of an outdoorsy feel.
I agree. Something a little more easy to read and more outdoorsy.
Easier to read.
Maybe like a sans serif, but more like slightly. Some have like the wonky edges on them a little bit.
Yeah. A little
Yeah.
more.
It doesn't have to be distressed, but just more
Yeah.
outdoorsy, right?
Yeah, outdoorsy.
This feels almost like futuristic to me.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, we're knocking these out here. So
That's cool though. I hope you get lots of sales. That's a great idea. I did one.
I like these.
I did one early in my design career when I was on Cafe Press. I did like statehood tees, and then each of the states had like the number of the state that they joined. So like Hawaii was 50, and then and they weren't customizable. I did all 50, and they had like the nickname and they did well. Like I had one teacher buy all 50, and they wore it every day to class to like teach their kids.
That's awesome.
The state, yeah, it was awesome. I'm like 50.
So like 50 days in a row, they wore a different one?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then
That's
geography
cool.
lesson was like on that
Yeah.
particular. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
they wrote me and everything. So that kind of, I was thinking of the same thing, right? Like you're doing states and like you're branching it out and scaling it out to. Once you have one good design, you kind of use that idea.
That's so smart. I think now you can also put geography teacher shirt or whatever.
Yes.
Like for the keywords, right? Like
Yeah.
you can target teachers here.
Yeah.
Interesting. Smart. So this one's from Karen. She's also in the membership. She says she prefers this one. I know she does like some witchy and celestial kind of thing.
Yeah.
So just to set the context here, girls will be girls.
Yeah. I like the idea. I think this would look great on a black t-shirt, actually, knocking out the ravens.
I agree.
The font's kind of hard to read, but I know why you chose it because it kind of relates to this kind of type of style. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if there's a better one out there that relates to this style. So I wouldn't just go pick like a Helvetica font. I would see if there's another font that kind of matches this style. And this font does match it. So
yeah, I agree though. It's a little bit too much still, like it. Yeah, I agree. Not just a Helvetica, but something a little more fun, but not, this is a bit much. I agree. I understand the font choice, but also like it doesn't have to be a witchier Gothic style font to make a Gothic style design work, right? It's how it's kind of mixed all together. And I think these crows or whatever speak right to that. So you don't have to have a font as involved as this. But I love the idea that you're saying here. Oh, I can maybe change. Sorry, Karen, I'm changing your design.
Oh, there you go. Look at that already.
Yeah, it looks 1,000 times better, right?
Yeah.
So then these now will be cut out from your shirt,
right?
It's the shirt color showing through. Something like this. So maybe we can just pick a font then.
Oh, wow. You're in Canva, huh? Oh, see? I wonder if you can type in Gothic to search for Gothic.
Probably. Ooh. Yeah, Gothic. I feel like it's all still too much. Forgive me, Karen. I don't really know what fonts speak to the niche that well, but
it definitely needs to be easy to read. Like this is too much. So we know what we don't like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a little more fun than something like this, but not as crazy as the other stuff. But immediately, and then I'd probably just change this color too. If I can ink drop, yes, to maybe a color that's in the design, right?
Ooh. Yeah, because there's no other white in the design. I was gonna say if you're gonna do the white text, then maybe those stars or whatever should be white too. That could be a thing.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe a little bit off white, like the color in the design, because there is nothing else white in there, right? But something like that with a different font.
Cool.
Good call on the black on the background, though, Juna.
Yeah, knock it out. And then even if it's gray and it wasn't black, I mean, black's going to be the obvious choice. But if you had another color that was like a dark gray, then the birds would be knocked out of that, and the birds would be dark gray, right? So
right. So if we did like we could do let's go with something like this, for example. We can make all the birds. Oh, well, let me do one at a time.
Yeah,
make the birds the same color as that, right?
Yeah, and that could still work.
Yeah, for sure. As long as it's darker.
Dark enough to
Yep,
make the other
dark
things
enough.
stand out. Yeah.
This might be getting a little too light,
Light
but
still. Yeah.
on a
Maybe get
navy it
that.
would look cool.
Yes, on a navy it would look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, look at that. That's
Yeah, it looks awesome. And it's also like, yeah, dark navy, speaks to midnight, right? It's like the
Mhm.
sky. But cool design. I like it.
Good idea.
Let's get one more navy. There you go.
Oh
That's
wow.
what it looks awesome.
That's awesome. One
All right.
just knock that out in Canva, that would be awesome.
I think so too. Yeah. I think we can do one or two more. How are you for time?
I'm great for time.
Then we can do two more here.
Nice.
Maybe
This is fun.
three if you got enough time, but
I got all day.
okay.
the nice thing about not having a 9 to 5.
Right. Yeah. All right. So here's one. This one is
really cool. Love the artwork.
from Tony.
I don't know what Vita Ex Mortis means, but I wonder if that needs to be like I would almost put it like a rounded bottom, like arched, but the other way, like a smiley face almost to kind of accent
underneath. Like
yeah.
Yep.
Maybe even in a like sometimes, and maybe you didn't draw this or it would be hard to do, but it would be awesome if you could like put it at a nice banner. And like sometimes those tattoo designs have like this banner.
Yes,
you know?
like a scroll, like the
Like
old vintage scrolls.
That way, like it would be connected, right? Like
Yeah.
the whole thing is one thing, whereas this one kind of looks like I got this cool graphic, I got this text, and I kind of put it together. It's not one exact thing, but
yeah,
I try and think about how do I connect the two.
I think a scroll is a cool idea for sure.
Yeah.
This font also feels a little too fun.
Yeah.
For the darkness, gothic dark of the design, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it definitely feels disconnected. It doesn't feel like it goes together. So maybe I would change the font. I think Juna's idea of the scroll is great, smart. And you can kind of overlap it here, right?
Yeah, and put it on top of it, and make sure that it matches. Like not all scrolls will match this style, so that's going to be on you to find one that actually matches the same style, so that it looks connected. Like just putting a random not hand drawn, but some scrolls won't match is what I'm saying. So
for sure. Yeah. So if you did it with AI, maybe ask for a version with a scroll at the bottom, and then you can place text on it, right?
Yeah. A blank one.
Yeah, a blank scroll where you can tell the AI that you used to create it. A blank scroll where I will add my own text or something, or even try to put a blank or put a scroll that contains the words Vita Ex Mortis.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, AI is great at doing text now, so
yeah. And Vita Ex, is it life and death? I don't know my Latin very well, but I think like Mort is dead in French and Vita is life. And cool design, though.
Yeah, I love the artwork. I think it works.
Okay. We have Maribel's now. Ghosts just want to have fauve.
I don't know if that's I know where they're going with girls just want to have fun idea. Ghosts just want to have fun.
What is fauve? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what fauve is. I'm out of it. I guess I'm too old or something.
A group of French painters who favored fauvism.
Oh.
So it has to do with the art style.
So
and I think...
Yeah.
Oh, Matisse.
Matisse.
Okay. So, I recognize this a little bit. I think the original Matisse painting has these like kind of branches over here.
Yeah, very niche, huh? Like you have
super niche.
Halloween, you're mixing up a Matisse with Halloween. That's
super niche. Cool idea. I almost think it might be too niche.
It could be.
I don't know how many.
You have all those things to want to buy it, right? You have to be
yeah. You have to understand what this word means first, right? Without Googling it, and then also recognize Matisse's paintings. I don't know how popular this one is, but it may be. But then you also need to be cutesy enough to want to wear these kind of cute ghosts on a shirt, right?
Yeah. And if we didn't figure it out in 3 seconds and we had to look it up, like it might be tough for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So run it by your friends if they know what it means.
For sure.
But design wise, it's a great artwork. I wonder if it's kind of too big for a design. Like we got the whole big square stamp. I know stamps are popular right now on Etsy, but I wonder if this kind of stamps and this size of stamps are the ones. It's good to test, but
yeah, you might even be able to do like the 9-up pattern is still popular, right?
Yes.
So you might be able to do a couple of
The
smaller ones
stamps, right? Yeah.
that are all more Matisse vibe and less
Yeah.
Halloweeny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because as soon as you put a jack-o'-lantern on it, like this could be, skulls and ghosts could be cool year round, but as soon as you put the jack-o'-lantern and the candy
That's
corn,
trick
now
or
it's
treat.
only Halloween,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Agreed. So maybe an idea would be, like you said, maybe some ghosts and skeletons in the because I think that could still sell, right? The
Yeah.
ghosts, skeletons, maybe some other monsters or whatever in different stamps, and do the 9-up or the multiple stamps on different styles and different sizes. And I think that probably would get you better sales and relate to a lot more people than the specific very sub niche.
Yep, I agree. But cool execution, cool idea.
Yes, of the artwork. In artwork.
And we can do one more here.
And you could probably still use a lot of those tags that you or keywords that you're using. Maybe.
Okay, we'll do 2 more if you're cool with that.
Yeah, this is fun.
Real quick. All right.
We should have an update of this is how it changed.
Yeah, for those of you who are in the membership, definitely drop your changes down in there. So
I'm guessing Z for Zen. I wonder if there's other Zen-like things you could use on there. Not, I'm thinking Zen more like meditation and
yoga,
all of that, yoga and stuff. So I know the Z is representing Zen, but I wonder if there's other things that could be represented as
homebody, introverts.
But as far as artwork goes, I think it's cool artwork. The ribbon kind of looks interesting. I wonder if the outline of it's kind of, in some places it's really close, in other places it's not, the outline of it as you get closer. But I love the flowers on top of the letters. Those look like done really well. Ignore the rest. Plant Zen, ignore the rest. I'm trying to figure out what the phrase means.
Me too.
Yeah.
Do you mean plant Zen seeds only and ignore the rest? I'm not even sure.
Or you love plants only and you ignore everything else besides plants because you're zoning out on plants or meditating on plants. So yeah, but as far as the colors and the flowers on the shirt, I love the colors and the artwork.
I'd probably just try to get more clear on who you're targeting with it, and then the rest will sort of follow.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you don't even need to have ignore the rest in there.
Mm-hmm. You probably don't, because then what does that mean?
Yeah, it's less confusing, right?
Mm-hmm. I wonder if this can be also used, you know how we've been thinking about scaling? Maybe it's just the Z with the flowers, and then you can say, pick any letter and then do it with like, because it could also be someone who loves flowers and their name starts with Z, right? Or their name starts with B, or like you could scale something with different things.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be, Zen for Z. It could be just plant Zen, but then any other letters too for just them. Just even the monogram alone, right? Just the letter on its own.
Monogram idea.
Yeah, just the letter on its own with the flowers.
Mm-hmm. I think that could be really strong.
All right. Next up is Maryhill. So that one.
Beautiful. And the beautiful.
That was Julia's. This one is Mario's. All right. The Bald and the Beautiful.
It's good. I like it. Gosh, I'm guessing this is for a guy that's bald. Maybe chooses to be bald on purpose and has a beard. At first, I didn't see the bald and the beautiful, and it's a play on the words the bold and the beautiful.
Yeah.
So you're doing 2 puns, kind of. Gosh, I wonder. I'm also thinking about balance. Like you got the arrows on top, and then these 4-pointed stars on the bottom, which is cool. But it almost distracted me from the and the. Yep. I wonder if there's a way to kind of balance that out so that the and the.
And I feel like these, vintage looking stars don't fit the vibe, right? It looks more like a Viking style with the arrows, but the stars are almost like too cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think if I had to think of why they put that there, they were looking for something to put underneath to kind of balance it, because the arrows were. So I would almost do maybe the arrows, maybe the and the is in the middle of the arrows, and the arrows can be the center, right? Maybe it's bigger.
Yeah, like and over top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that way you can make and much bigger also. And then you don't need these lines, right? Yeah, that kind of works.
And that would balance it out, and then you would see the and the bigger.
Yeah.
But as far as the everything else, I think the arch text above really matches the head, and the arch text below really matches the beard. So that kind of works together as an element. Yeah, I wouldn't change too much about this because I think it would work. Love to see this on a black one too. I think it could do really well on a black
Totally
t-shirt.
agree. Again, right? Everything like this always looks better on black, right? It's the number one selling ever. Yeah, awesome.
I think that would do. We talked about Christmas. I think people may buy that for others that know that they're bald and beautiful, right? As a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to ask you before we call it quits today is
Uh-huh.
I mentioned it earlier, but I totally forgot until right now. But what was the story behind Detour Shirts?
Yes. Okay. I can
Business
tell you.
partner, right?
Yep. I can tell you. So a long time ago, you all know the story that I started in Cafe Press in 2005. What preceded that was a coworker and a coworker of mine. We both decided to start a business together. Back in 2005, we wanted some extra income, and so we did a business together. And like a lot of people who start new businesses, we took so long trying to think of the name for our business, right? We went through all our names and kind of combined them and trying to be fair and all of this. So this is the long story short is the D was from my last name, Duncan. The R was from his first name. His first name was Rick. And the 2, because of 2 of us, it was D2R. So originally we were going to be D2R, Detour Design. And when we tested it out and told our friends, like a lot of people didn't get it. Oh, you're D2R. Like, no, we're Detour. We just spell it D2R. And they're like, no, I don't get it. So we changed D2R to Detours, just spelled it out, make it clear that that's what we're doing. But that's how we came up with the name D2R. And so we were Detour Design for a long time. And when I started doing more and more t-shirts, we're not partners anymore. I eventually bought them out and took over Detour Design, and I changed it to Detour Shirts when I started exclusively doing t-shirts, because we weren't doing t-shirts. The reason it was called Detour Design at first is we were doing more than just t-shirts. We were doing websites and all this other stuff. And when I went just to t-shirts, I changed it from Detour Design to Detour Shirts. So
Awesome. Funny how it grows that way, right? Super interesting. Yeah. There's always like pivots and shifting. I think it's status quo for any kind of design industry, right?
cool, and it works. Like I didn't want to change my name to do something with, like I could have done Juna shirts or whatever, right? But I thought, why not just keep it? It's a nice history, and it can be used in so many ways. Like take a detour or do something different, and all of that stuff. So
Yeah, it's fun. Speaks to pivoting. That's awesome. Any final words or anything of the sort? I don't want to put you on the spot, but
final words. I don't know. I mean Q4 is the biggest time for everyone in print on demand, right? So if you are interested in all and making money with print on demand, now is the time. Like I think you said it before, like the first 6 months is kind of all the research and all that stuff. But this last 6 months, now is the time where we get like super serious and put everything in, like all your good research and design and everything. Like now is the time to get ready. Like the sales definitely probably pick up October, November, December, like the last Q4, but now is the time to put those designs in to rank and start getting some sales before the actual sales. Like it'll be too late by the time it's October. You want to do stuff right now. So
totally agree. Couldn't agree more. Juna, you are awesome. Where can everybody find you? So we got at Detour Shirts, is it?
at Detour Shirt, yeah. For YouTube, I have the YouTube channel. I check that multiple times a day. I have a website, detourshirts.com. You can't leave messages there, but you can see some of my designs. I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Twitter or X. Some people still call it Twitter for some reason. And then Facebook, I have a Facebook group. But I'm also going to be showing up on your inner circle. I hop around to different places. So yeah, next month I'll be in inner circle giving some kind of design. I'm sure it's going to be around design because that's what I like talking about. So
yeah, awesome. Well, we look forward to having you back inside our membership. For those of you who don't know, Juna and Philip Anders have been rotating months for all of 2025 so far, and will continue throughout the rest of the year. So always awesome to have people that are subject matter experts, right? Like you've been doing this You're the OG, right? Is what I say.
Yes.
People sometimes say that about me, but you're the real one. We're gonna probably be starting some kind of gamified.
Yeah, we want to. We've been talking about it to do something like more often, right? So maybe some kind of contest or something, like maybe we could help people like what we just did, but maybe in real time, kind of maybe three of you design and Kittle in real time, and we can kind of watch and give tips and all of that. That would be really fun. Or maybe an idea where we have a wheel of topics and spin it, and both of us design for the same thing. That would be fun too. I did that with Shimmy once, and that's pretty.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, we'll have to figure something like that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. You guys let us know down below if you'd like to see us kind of do some kind of like graphic design or POD game show or something like that.
That would
Right?
be fun. Weekly.
Yeah.
We could do a week or monthly. I don't know how big your schedule, but a weekly game show would be fun.
Weekly could be fun. I don't know if I can commit to weekly, but monthly for
Monthly.
sure. Yeah.
Monthly game show. We got to come up with a good name.
Yeah. Well, our initials are the same, right? JD is
Oh, there you go.
We'll figure out something to do with that. But yeah, let us know your thoughts, guys, and let us know if you'd be up for something like that. I think it'd be fun because you can in Kittle now you can share boards and Canva and all those things, right? You can
work together.
Multiple people, so you could have 3 people working on one design that we pick.
Yeah.
If
we did it and we are already in there, we could come and be like, do some of this or like give some hints, right?
Yeah,
that'd be funny. I found this graphic you could use here.
And then make people, get all nervous because time's running out, like the master shelf idea.
Have to be timed. 1 hour. You get 1 hour to make a great t-shirt or whatever.
Oh man. Sounds like a lot of fun. All right, buddy.
Fun.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this again, Juna. Appreciate
absolutely. Anytime, man.
All right. Take care, guys.
See you, everyone. Bye.